Of course, the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event is about exceptional offers, but it's also about the luxury of versatility and the freedom of a summer day coming together for you at the perfect moment.
Lease the 2019 NX300 all-wheel drive for $369 a month for 36 months with $29.99 to assign it. Experience amazing at your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer. Call 1-800-USA-LEXUS for important lease offer and pricing details. Not all customers will qualify. Offer valid in the Lexus Eastern area only and in September 3rd, 2019.
Now driving me crazy. I don't wanna take this. You're gonna have to make me ADHD. I don't wanna take this. I feel like I've been lately. So life is me.
Welcome everybody to Hooligan Radio, the podcast that talks movies, gaming, true crime, cryptids, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I have Zach and Isaiah here joining me. How you guys doing?
I am exhausted.
Also exhausted.
Okay, I need to know why you guys are always so exhausted. What do you guys do?
We also picked the worst day to possibly record a podcast, a late night Monday.
I slept 3 hours and then woke up.
Jesus.
And my body was like, let's fucking do this. And then
it lied.
At 5:30, like 30 minutes before my alarm would actually go off, my body was like, let's not do this anymore. So I took a 30-minute nap. So I slept 3.5 hours last night and then went to work and then got back from work and had to do shit. And now I'm here recording a podcast. And then after this, I'm probably going to die or play Apex Legends. It depends on how much energy this gives me.
But that doesn't mean you, the listener, should not be excited for this episode.
All right, and I'm Josh, and I'm just going to start it off, guys, because I'm pretty excited. Regal, the movie theater chain, has finally released their unlimited movie subscription. Now, AMC has had theirs out for about 6 months, I think now, maybe 6 months to a year. Theirs is called AMC A-List, and we all know about MoviePass, the one that started it all but couldn't survive. And is, at this point, I believe it actually shut down indefinitely not too long ago. But Regal is releasing theirs and calling it Regal Unlimited. And this is a big deal for us because, just to give a little context, AMC actually is the biggest movie theater chain in the country. Regal's right behind them. However, where I live, I would have to pass 3 Regal movie theaters to get to the closest AMC.
I think that's the case for me also.
Yeah, so for me, Regal is much easier to go to, and is really why I haven't signed up for AMC A-List, because it's just so inconvenient out of the way for me. So the reason they're calling it Regal Unlimited is that's exactly what it is. From their advertising, there's no strings attached. It's $18 a month. It can go up to $23 depending on what market you're in, but us here in the Midwest, we get the cheaper price. So we're at $18 a month, and you can see as many movies as you want. There's no blackout dates. There's no conditions. There's no weird, whatever, you want to put on it. It's however many movies you want to see. The only rule is they can't overlap, which makes sense because how are you going to watch 2 movies at once? But beyond that, you can use it as many times as you want, and it's only 50 cents per movie. The reason there's a 50-cent charge is it's because everything is done through the app. So it's just like basically the processing fee that the app usually has. So it's technically 50 cents a movie, but really you're just paying that fee to use the app. And you can see as many 2D movies as you want. If you have any like specialty movies like 3D, IMAX, you can still see all of those with the pass, but there is a surcharge of a few dollars. It's somewhere between like $1.50 and $3 per ticket, depending on what you're seeing, but it's still all included. And that's really it. There's really no other catch. Actually, there's one kind of a big catch I forgot to mention. It is an annual plan. However, you can pay month to month, but it is an annual plan, meaning that once you agree to the annual plan, if you decide to pay monthly, you cannot cancel until after the first year.
Can you pay one large sum for the entire year?
Yes, you can pay up front. I don't know if there's a discount if you pay up front or not. It's around $200. I can't remember the exact price, but you can pay up front. But if you do choose to go month to month, even if you cancel, you are still committed to the first year price. So that is a small catch as well. But compared to AMC A-List, where AMC A-List you can see 3 movies a week. Obviously Unlimited, you could see 7, 8, 9, 10 movies a week if you wanted. And AMC A-List is $19.99, I believe. So this is right there in that ballpark at $18.
It's even cheaper.
Yeah, so this seems like we're here. It seems like we finally reached the pinnacle with every major movie chain having a subscription service.
Right.
So you and I don't know too much about the movie theater business, but is it true that a majority of their profit comes off of like concessions and the food that they sell at the theater?
That's definitely the case when it comes to the drive-in. I'm not sure about actual theaters. I believe so.
Because that's just so smart. Like, you're just putting more people in your seats to purchase the food. I feel like because I'm one of the few that probably doesn't get food when we go to the theater.
That doesn't or does?
Does not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't normally get food, but the icy machine is just the most fucking thing. I'm just like, damn, icy?
Isaiah, you are correct. I'm sure it's much more as far as the ratio at drive-ins, but movie theaters as well. They do take a small cut of ticket prices, but a lot of that goes to Hollywood. Movie theaters do make the bulk of their money off concessions and other things that they sell you. And that's really the biggest thing between these services that come directly through the theaters and MoviePass, right? Because MoviePass, you were giving them your $10 and then they had to pay for however many movie tickets you bought. And that was it. They're not getting any more money from you. But with Regal Unlimited, you're paying them $18 up front. They're paying for, your portion of the movie ticket and losing that profit, but then they're getting your money from the $8 popcorn and the $7 soda, when you go and see the movie. Now, this Regal Unlimited does give you a 10% off all food and non-alcoholic drinks, but 10% is like $1.
Why would you not do this?
I think that the reason why you would not do this is if you're in my situation where I maybe see one movie every 2 months and I have to agree to see movies for a year. And for this to pay itself off, I have to see at least 2 movies at a month. Yeah.
But would this give you more of an incentive?
No.
To go? No.
There is nothing. The price is not the problem when it comes to the movies for me. It's the fact that I don't care to sit there for 3 hours.
Yeah, and I think that at $18 a month, like Isaiah said, you would need 2 movies a month to make it worth it. I myself am somebody who goes to the movies pretty regularly. I see on average 2 movies a month. So for me, if I continue to go to the movies at the same pace I have been, I wouldn't be saving a ton of money with this plan. But Zach, I think it really just comes down to what you were saying, the incentive for someone like me to now see 3, 4, 5 movies a month instead of 2, or someone like Isaiah, but maybe just is an Isaiah situation, but has a different opinion that they don't see that many movies, but now with this pass, we'll see 2 or 3 a month. I think that's really the market for it. But if someone doesn't see a lot of movies, I don't think they're going to go get this pass and all of a sudden be interested in seeing a bunch of movies. So
yeah, and I think that the 1-year plan caveat is a big one, because I could tell you right now there are almost no movies I want to see from December to February. So that's just like 3 that's just 3 months where I would be burning that money automatically because you have to sign up for a year. You can't cancel.
Yeah. But I guess for me, because I probably would throw myself in the same boat of seeing 2 movies a month regularly, where at this I could just be like, all right, I'm bored tonight and I don't have anything to do. I might as well just go see a movie and make it worth it at the end of the month.
Yeah, I can see, and I did the same thing when I had MoviePass as well. I wouldn't usually see this movie, but I have MoviePass and it's free. The one other thing that I would say with it is I think the reason they do the year is to do exactly like what Isaiah is talking about. to protect themselves a little bit. Like, for example, someone signing up in May as soon as summer movie season starts and then canceling in August and seeing 40 movies over the summer. You know what I mean? So it's kind of their way of protecting themselves. Or maybe December, if you're not into like the Oscar movies, December, January, February isn't really that time you're going to see a bunch. You're going to burn that money. But over the course of time, I think Regal is hoping for someone like me or Zach to see, 2-3 movies a month where they're losing money, but not really once it comes to the concessions and everything.
Now, you might have already said this, but is it only the first year that you have the plan that it's mandatory 1 year? Or
I think
is it
so
yearly increments?
So from reading their terms of service, everything seems to only obligate you to the first year. Like when they're talking about canceling, they're saying you're committed to the first year. And then after that, if you cancel, you might get a refund. I don't know if you're committed year after year. The one difference is if you're on a monthly, you will never like cancel automatically. It'll just always keep going monthly. But if you do buy the annual, as of right now, there's no renewal. So you buy the annual, once it runs up, you have to buy another annual. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure that the ins and outs of all of that yet. The one other quick thing I wanted to say on this before we moved on was that I thought was interesting was that there was everyone assumed that Regal would eventually do this with AMC having their own, but there was no info about this or anything, and all of a sudden they dropped it, and now you can sign up right now as long as you have the Regal app. Yeah, as long as you have the Regal app updated, it has been released. I think effective today, you can go on and sign up. So this was just like they just dropped it immediately, which I think is pretty interesting. It's obviously pretty cool, but I think is an interesting way to do it because I haven't I saw this over the weekend on Twitter, but it's not like it's this huge bombshell, so it's interesting.
I think the only other two things that I have is one, I think that the demographic for this specific service is a lot smaller than the other subscription service demographics. If you have kids, this doesn't really seem like a thing that's going to play to you because rounding up the kids to go to the movies 2 times a month, 3 times a month, or whatever, probably isn't the easiest thing to do. And I would say that also it's interesting because like $20 a month, I guess, is fine. But then in your guys' situation, you have to consider, well, that $20 a month turns to $40 a month whenever you have to consider that your significant other would also need it due to the fact that that's probably who you see movies with the most. And I don't know. I think that it's specifically in our demographic, like the late teens to like the 30 range, like before people are starting families or like in that general range, where this is going to play. And then I think another one of the things is after a year, if you're paying it monthly, your ability to forget that you have this goes through the roof, and you could just be paying on it for so long and just being like not actively going to see movies to make sure that it's worth it. I think that factor falls off after a year. Zach, you're not going to go every month in the 13th month and go, oh man, I haven't seen my 2 movies, especially
that's how I'm currently with my gym membership. Just, wow, I still have this.
Right, exactly. And I think that that's one of the biggest like psychological points that probably wasn't, I don't know if it was considered. I don't know if they're like fucking madmen or maniacal like that, but after a year, most people are probably like, have already considered that money gone. Like, I don't actively think about my Spotify subscription. I don't even know what day it gets taken out of my bank account.
That's a little bad.
It's fucking $5.
That's me with,
and I'm never going to cancel Spotify. I need Spotify, and it gives me Hulu. It doesn't matter as long as I have the money, which is what, $10.
Yeah.
If $10 is going to make or break me, I have bigger problems than Spotify. I think it's super interesting.
I definitely agree. Yeah, I definitely agree that the market is that young single, millennial, or what's the generation beyond after us called Gen Z.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the market for this right now. Someone in high school who goes to the movies all the time, maybe their parent thinks it's a better idea to get them this subscription than to give them $20 every Friday. I think there is a market there, but it's definitely not going to, I think, appeal to the masses or anything like that. But they could get a couple million people on board, I think, and then that's $20 million for them every month.
Yeah, agreed.
So what about you, Isaiah? What do you got for us this week?
So, in the last time since I talked to you guys, a 16-year-old won $3 million playing video games. Specifically Fortnite.
And if your parents ever tell you to stop playing video games to go outside, just read them this article.
Yeah, I specifically, when I saw this, first thing I wanted to do was send it to my dad and be like, remember those times when you told me that I should do something other than play video games? I could be this guy. I could have been this. This could have been me. Yeah, I'm not super into Fortnite or the pro scene or the World Cup or whatever the fuck was going on. I thought that it was really interesting that because they have a ton of money still. I mean, this guy won the solo tournament and he got $3 million. And then there was a duo team that has to split $3 million, so that's $6 million. I think like in the solo tournament, I was hearing that like up to 20th place or something like that got prize money.
Wow.
Or some shit like that. Yeah. So like there's still a ton of money in Battle Royale, which we talked about in the last episode. But specifically Fortnite. But I was just thinking about it today, like, while I was at work, like, these motherfuckers is out here playing video games. He's 16. Think about what we were doing when we were 16.
11th through 50th place in the World Cup scored $100,000.
Yeah. So if you made it all the way to the World Cup and didn't die right when you landed, you probably made $100,000.
Isn't it point-based, though?
Yeah, but still, if you die right when you land, you're not going to score any points.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were 16, we were driving around doing fucking parkour. And what did that get us? It didn't get us $3 million. I could fucking tell you that.
No.
Bad knees.
Got me scars. Yeah, bad knees, scars.
Yeah, you guys should have rolled.
Roll.
You can't roll when you're bailing. So I actually heard locally, I thought it was interesting. I was listening to sports radio here locally in Cleveland, and they were talking about, video game. There was some competition going on, and they were kind of talking about the merits of it, right? Is like as a sport or whatever you'd like to call it. And someone called in who was a mom of somebody whose kid had recently gotten sponsored by one of the FaZe groups. I don't know what it was, but she said he recently got sponsored, and now his job is just to stream Fortnite, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And his salary is $70,000.
Yeah,
and the people
makes
on the
more
radio,
than me.
Yeah, the guys on the radio were like, blown away by that, because the kid was like, I think she said he was 18. But obviously still lived at home or whatever, but that's pretty mind blowing. Yeah, it doesn't need a degree for it. He just played games all of his life. But you could say that about any sport, right? If you play any sport from an extremely young age, you're gonna have a better chance of going professional than someone who doesn't do that since a young age.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, my thing is there's a lot of money in gaming. But I did not know that it was like just to be on the FaZe roster. That's probably what your salary is. There's a side point to that. FaZe is a huge fucking like league and all that kind of stuff. But they actually recently just took on their first female player. And she is 13 and plays Fortnite. And could be potentially also making $70,000.
Probably more.
That's insane. Because if I was making $70,000 from 13 to whenever, could you imagine me at 13 with $70,000?
Absolutely
Are you
not.
fucking kidding me?
It would have been a great time.
Yeah, we would have been.
I feel like I probably
we would have been worse than Jake Paul.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know about that. Maybe on a similar level.
Is it
we would
safe
have
to say that Fortnite is probably the most profitable video game on the market right now.
Yes.
And profitable, I guess, in the sense of pro, like the pro league.
It's gotta be.
Like I haven't seen another game where top place is 3 million and the lowest place being 100,000.
Yeah, I think the only other game that got close was League of Legends, and League of Legends never appealed to children. They League had an ad campaign where they were like running like these cartoony ads for a long time that people saw.
They had with Jordan Hayward when people found out he played League of Legends during his rehab.
Yeah, they were really trying to pull that kid audience because that's where all the money is. And that's why like Minecraft got so big. Like basically if you could make a game that appeals to like the youth, like the actual youth, you'll make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has to appeal to people like Ninja and Shroud and shit like that for them to play it at a professional level. And I feel like it's hard to straddle that gap, and Fortnite does. But yeah, it's definitely the most profitable game probably of all time. I don't think that there's anything else that even gets close other than like actual games like poker and shit like that, obviously. But video game wise, I think that one of the biggest flaws that has ever come out of this like gaming, the gaming industry is them trying to take it legit and calling it esports. Because now everybody will always consider it in the same vein as sports, and there's just going to be so many sports fans who are like, these people aren't athletes, but these motherfuckers are getting paid like they are athletes, almost. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ.
I feel like that narrative is going away, though, the whole not athlete thing. I mean, are they athletes?
I think it's going away in the circles that we rotate in, but anybody who's older than us automatically is just like, no, you can't play video games and it be a sport. You're like,
yeah, you'll always have get off my lawn people, I guess. I mean, we will eventually become get off my lawn people for whatever trend pops up in 30 years. But
I can't wait.
I already am, dude. Remember that time whenever kids were eating Tide Pods? Let's get off my lawn.
But that's just
get off my lawn with the Tide Pods.
Get off my grocery store shelves with them Tide Pods. But yeah, I just wanted to bring up that. And if there's no chance that my parents listen to this, but if you're listening, you guys fucked me. You fucked me. You were like, you need to go $70,000 in debt instead of get a $70,000 scholarship to fucking be entertaining on the internet. Motherfuckers.
So
I'm done.
So between all of us, that makes 6 parents. Out of 6 parents, how many know how to listen to a podcast?
Mine have attempted to try. I don't know if they have been successful yet. I have showed them several times.
I know for a fact that mine do not know how. My parents do not know how to listen to music on Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's going to be a goose egg across the board. At least Zach's parents have attempted.
And that's the closest we're going to get.
I mean, that's pretty great.
It's pretty close. We're getting there.
I feel like my mom would open up an hour-long YouTube video and go, nope, you can't watch this. What about you, Zach? What do you got going on?
So we're gonna go in some. I don't even know what we call this. I guess it's true crime. It's not true crime. Let's be real.
This is true crime. This is crime, bro.
This is crime. I mean, it's crime.
It's true. Is it true? Did this actually happen?
It is true.
Then it is true crime. Those are the two things.
So I'm bringing the story of the serial toilet clogger, who was recently sentenced to 150 days in jail, but he got a change to probation.
Probation? That means he's going to go clog more toilets.
Exactly. I mean, if it happens, then he is in jail.
What if he accidentally does it?
Well, let's get to the story. So essentially what's going on is a 35-year-old man was sentenced on Monday, and this was in the beginning of July, so a couple weeks ago, to 3 years for probation for clogging women's toilets in Deland Park at his workplace. He essentially, I don't think he was necessarily a janitor, but he just did like general cleaning, and pretty much just like yard work. The man's name was Patrick D. Beeman. He was charged with 12 misdemeanors or counts of criminal damage to property, but 7 of the charges were dismissed earlier in June. The conditions of his probation are that he has to serve 150 days in jail, pay more than $5,500 in restitution, and not be allowed to possess or consume alcohol or control any substances or controlled substances, and also serve 100 hours of community service.
Dang, dude, what if this guy just takes like really big poops and like he can't help it?
So this isn't a poop thing, though. He would specifically take water bottles and other objects. It seemed like it was mainly a water bottle thing, and shove them into women's toilets to clog them. Specifically women's toilet.
Ugh.
All right, well, I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, so I was kind of hoping it would be a poop thing because that would just be hilarious. But once I found out it was just a bottle thing, and then he says later on he told the police he gets urges to do odd things. Like that's his explanation. He gets urges to do odd things. Yeah, this guy should be locked up for life. I don't know about this 150 days.
Yeah, I get urges to do weird things. That's like a increase in sentence line. Like there's a lot of things you could say to get your sentence decreased, and this is not one of the things.
Just to get more of a sentence.
You just bring out to the judge. But essentially, almost every single toilet that he ruined cost $200 in damages, and this started happening in April of 2017 when they first started reportedly getting clogged.
I'm just trying.
So he's been on the loose.
I'm just trying to think of like. Could you imagine? You're just like walking down the street or like walking in work and you're like, man, I really gotta shove a bottle in a fucking toilet right now, bro. I gotta fucking do it, G. I'm fucking tweaking. I gotta do it, bro. And just like fucking run into a girl's bathroom and you're like,
see, the real thing to me is trying to figure out his thought process of why to do it. Did so many women make fun of him for taking huge shits before for clogging up toilets that he wanted them to feel the same thing?
Yeah, Zach, why don't we just victim blame women for having fucking...
I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. We're not blaming anybody.
I mean, we all have urges, right? Like, that's life. Like, anytime I'm in a car and the window's open, I have an urge to throw my phone out the window. But I don't.
Driving into the other traffic, embracing the sweet embrace of death.
Or anytime you're on a bridge, you're just like, you're like, what if I just dove out of this car into the water and just swam with the dolphins forever?
Exactly, but the point is, you don't.
Yeah, you push your feelings down farther and farther, and you keep going on with your day.
Could you just imagine just walking past a girl's bathroom, just drinking some water? You're like, what if I shove this in the toilet? I can't resist the urge. Oh man, that's fucked.
Yeah, right. But he came out and said he needs to make things right and pray for forgiveness every day now after he came out and took the charge.
Pray for forgiveness. God's going to be like, bro, what the fuck?
He's like, I'm forgiving your ass.
Yeah.
What the hell is your problem? Though, to do it at your own workplace, essentially. He worked at the D-Land Community Center where he would do it.
The D-Land?
D-Land. I don't know where this actually is. Let's take a look here.
Well, it looks like it's on the Sheboygan Press. So
D-Land, Florida. Of course it's in Florida.
Florida man shoves bottles in toilets. More at 11.
See it, play it, skip it. See it, play it, skip it.
So, Zach and I both saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Zach, what did you think of the movie?
It was... I have mixed reviews on it, to be honest. I thought at times it was really slow. At least the first... Honestly, a good majority of the movie was a little bit slow. And I didn't really understand where it was leading up to till probably the last 10 to 15 minutes. And then it all made sense. But I felt like that was a little bit too much. Because it was... What was it, about 2 hours, you would say?
It was 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Ooh. It was... What?
It was 2 hours and 40 minutes.
3 hours with trailers.
Was it really 2 hours and 40 minutes?
Yeah.
God. All right. So it was pretty much a hardcore build-up for 2 hours and 20 of those minutes.
People wonder why I don't want to go to the movies. This looked cool, and then Josh said, yeah, it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I was like, no fucking way. Well, what day am I going to burn 3 hours watching fucking Two people jerk off on the screen.
Yeah.
So that just
doesn't
even
happen, but yeah.
solidifies my point, because I was about to say it seemed like this movie went on for 3 hours, which I guess it became pretty close.
Yeah.
But the ending was great. It had a lot of good turns into it. I love the way that he took with it at the end, and it somewhat makes sense to Quentin Tarantino's film directing style, because the whole time I'm just like, I'm waiting for this. This isn't the same old movie that he's always produced and directed. And then finally it hit it, and you're just like, wow, this is pretty badass.
Yeah. The only thing that I've heard about this movie, other than it going like basically 3 hours, is that there are people calling Quentin Tarantino sexist because they didn't give Margot Robbie enough lines. But that was on Rover's Morning Glory this morning, and you know how that show is.
Yeah, so when it comes to that, first of all, I'm not going to spoil anything in the movie, but if I'll get into somewhat of how the movie works, I guess, is how I'll phrase it. So no one outside of Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are in this movie for more than 10 minutes. Like, every character that they introduce, and there's some pretty big actors, like Kurt Russell's in the movie. There's a guy that plays Bruce Lee that I thought was pretty cool. Obviously, Margot Robbie. There's a guy that plays Charles Manson. And everybody is in 1 or 2 scenes. And Margot Robbie is a little bit more than that. She's in it for maybe like 15 minutes. But the movie is completely focused on Leonardo DiCaprio's character playing an actor who's past his prime in the 60s, and Brad Pitt being his stunt double. Yeah, so like the Manson family is in it, Margot Robbie is in it, like there's a few people in it, and they're in it for 1 scene or 2 scenes if they're lucky, and then that's it. I found that frustrating because a lot of the characters they introduced I actually found very interesting and was like, oh, okay, this is kind of, well, let's see where this goes. But because no one is really in the movie for any meaningful length outside of the 2 main characters, the only people you really care about are the 2 main characters, and they do a great job. They're the best part of the movie, absolutely. But don't go into it expecting Margot Robbie to be a star of the movie, because she's not. She's barely in it.
She's definitely one of those supporting roles.
Yeah, and even for a supporting role, she doesn't have a ton of lines. Even when she's on screen, like there's a scene where she plays Sharon Tate, who is a real life actor, and she goes to watch a movie that she stars in, and most of the scene is her just walking around. She's not even talking, so she doesn't have a ton of dialogue. And I'm not saying it's inherently a bad thing or a sexist thing, but I do think that it makes for a very long, slow movie. And I agree, Zach, that the ending was cool, but I don't want to sit through 2.5 hours to see a cool scene at the end of the movie.
Oh, no, I agree.
So
it's almost because I'm pretty sure Brad Pitt and Leonardo are the only 2 characters in this entire movie that aren't like real. They're not actually based off a real person in this story. Like Josh brought up, Sharon Tate is a real person. I can't remember her director husband now. The Manson family is in it with all of them.
Oh yeah, Roman Polanski. Yeah.
Yes. So this is essentially just Quentin Tarantino's take on this time by throwing these 2 characters in here and seeing what this would have changed.
Yeah, and I wasn't alive in the 60s, but from the way the movie portrays it, I think Quentin Tarantino did a really cool job of like, let's take you to what Hollywood was like in the 60s. Like the soundtrack is great, the sets are great, the costume design's great. I just really wish he would have just made it a fictional biopic. Like, let's take these 2 fictional characters, Leo and Brad Pitt, and stick them in real life 1969 Hollywood with all these real life characters that are played by actors. But he got caught up on the Sharon Tate and Manson family part of it, and I feel like it kind of hindered the movie, because the movie has to end the way it ends because of that. And I feel like if it would have just been like, yeah, that happened, but we're not focusing on that, that's just a part of this world, let's focus on these 2 characters' careers, I think it would have been a lot more fun. But unfortunately, I feel like the movie is held back because you can tell Quentin Tarantino wants to get to that ending scene, so he can only do so much, without getting too far away from that.
And I think the cool thing about the ending scene is that it did a very good, and this is, I guess, getting close to spoilers, but it does a great job at empowering or taking away power from the actual event that occurred, which this is just a historical fact of the Manson family, like killing Sharon Tate and the 3 others that night, and it took essentially that power away from them. I felt like at the end of the movie, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I would totally agree. But on the whole, for me, I mean, I did give it a 7 out of 10, so technically that would be a see it. But I think there's no reason to see this in theaters unless you're like a huge Tarantino fan or a huge Leo fan. You can wait to rent this one. Even then, if you don't want to watch it, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that really the main selling point of this movie is to see Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt just be the best movie stars in Hollywood, because that's what they are.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, but beyond that, there's just, for me, as someone who loves a lot of Tarantino's movies, I would much rather watch, Inglourious Basterds with Brad Pitt or watch Django Unchained with Leonardo DiCaprio than watch this Tarantino film again, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot of people got lots of love for Tarantino, but can't really say that there's a lot of movies he's made that I'm like, yeah, those are the fucking best movies of all time. So I'm probably not going to see it, especially if if it's 3 hours.
Yeah. Movies just need to stop, man. Like I tweeted the other day, there was a tweet that was like, what is your I will die on this hill opinion or something like that? And I said, like, no movie needs to be longer than 2 hours. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Like, I just read an article that It Chapter 2 is going to be 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it's like, why? And it's like, maybe It Chapter 2 has a slight excuse because it's based off of a book that's like 700 pages. But it's like, on the whole, like, if you're not Avengers Endgame, why are you longer than 2 hours? It makes me so angry. Like, I watched the movie 47 Meters Down the other day, which was on, I forget what service it was on for free. I think Netflix. And the main reason I watched the movie is because it was 85 minutes long. That was the main selling point, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the best movie of all time is Kung Fury, and that movie was 28 minutes and 48 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, it's like half an hour.
They gave you the whole backstory in less than 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying your movie can't be good if it's longer than 2 hours, but it's like, if you're gonna do that, make sure it's worth it. And a lot of movies, I feel like, just do it to do it.
All I'm saying is, if your movie's going to be longer than 2 hours and 45 minutes, you have to have a character who breaks the fourth wall and tells me now would be a good time to use the restroom.
God, I would love that. That would be insane.
Yeah.
I that's kind of like my humble brag. I have acquired the skill over the years to just get a sense of when a good time is to go to the restroom, so I like almost never miss anything important. It's like my one skill in life.
Yeah, my one skill in life is having an iron bladder and not having to go to the bathroom during the movies.
Yeah, mine's just the willpower of I will force myself to finish this before I go to the bathroom.
Zach's like, I will shit my pants to see Captain America wield Thor's hammer.
Exactly.
So what about you, Isaiah? What have you been watching?
Yesterday, I watched the new series on Amazon called The Boys. And boy, let me tell you, I am a big fan. I think that it's a good contrast to all the superhero movies and all that kind of jargon going around right now. So basically, The Boys is a show about how this guy's girlfriend gets murdered by the superheroes on accident. On accident in air quotes. I guess it was technically an accident, but they like uncover this big plot about the superheroes. And them, like, there's 7 main superheroes. They're called the 7, led by like a Superman type character. And they're all just corrupt as fuck, and it's dope as hell, bro. It's so good. There's like a little bit of nudity, and like you definitely see a penis in it. So if you're not trying to watch things with fucking penises in it, you gotta not watch this bad boy. There's a superhero, and he can go invisible, but only if he's not wearing clothes. And he goes invisible in the bathroom so that he can like creep on the girls in the bathroom because everybody is all the superheroes are corrupt. And he gets caught, and he like goes uninvisible, and you see his dick.
Nice. So, real quick on that point, as someone who sometimes gets a little bit annoyed at how much unnecessary female nudity there is in movies, if you want to throw a dick in once in a while, I ain't gonna be mad about it.
Right. I'm just saying, it's our time, dog.
Yeah.
Dicks are in. Titties are out, bro. Dicks in.
Because I feel like the dick just has more surprise and like, whoa, they did that.
Yeah, dicks. Dicks have more
aspect. Okay.
Right. Dicks have more surprise and more comedic value, dog. Come on.
Yeah.
Dicks are in, bro. All of these Taika Waititi, if you're listening, I know you listen every once in a while. You gotta put a dick in one of these Marvel movies, bro.
Thor's dick.
It's just only a matter of
No,
time.
you cannot put Thor's dick. If you put Thor's dick, that'll easily become the first $1 trillion movie. You know how many bitches are gonna go see Thor's dick? No way. It's gotta be somebody. It's gotta be Coulson's dick. It's gotta be Coulson's dick.
If anything, it's gonna be the Hulk, so they can just animate it.
Okay.
But what if they do like the Austin Powers gag where like Thor is naked, but like the hammer keeps covering up his dick, and they're like, they keep doing actions with the hammer that you think it's gonna get revealed, but it keeps getting covered by objects.
That would be amazing. We need more
I could
movies.
see them do that.
We need more movies sculpted around Austin Powers gags. But yeah, I
Three
would.
wasn't enough.
I would definitely check out The Boys on Amazon Prime. Zach, did you end up watching any of it yesterday?
I did not, unfortunately. I'm gonna try to catch it this week.
I liked it a lot. I watched the whole thing yesterday. It's like 8 episodes, and they're all like an hour. But definitely a big fan. So I would check that out. I'll stay away from all of the plot points and just give you what I gave you. But yeah, there's definitely a dick, and I think it's in the first or second episode. So be ready for the dick.
I'll be ready. I'll be waiting.
You watch anything else, Zach?
Yeah, I guess I went actually back. I've been back in the sense of watching some older stuff. Me and Alyssa recently started 30 Rock. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't give it a whole lot of praise or really much of a chance when it first came out. I'm pretty sure you guys actually started watching it when it first started coming out, if I remember correctly.
30 Rock is the one with
Tina Fey,
Liz Lemon.
Yes.
Yeah. I watched it the summer I got Nova. And that shit is hilarious as fuck.
Yeah, it is very
Tracy
good.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan's
Tracy Morgan's character in that. He plays Tracy Morgan, I'm pretty sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what Tracy Morgan's actually like in real life, but now I have to assume so because he was so fucking crazy.
I'm literally pretty sure his name is Tracy Jordan on the show.
Oh, Tracy Jordan.
Letter in his name. 2 letters in his name top.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but like Alec Baldwin's in it too. Very good comedy, essentially revolving around a writer on NBC who essentially creates a show which to me seems like it's pretty similar to SNL.
right, they're
like
creating a show that's kind of like a SNL or something like that. No, they're creating Tracy Morgan, the Tracy Jordan show or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah. And it just pretty much follows that. You really honestly don't see much of the show itself. You might see little bits and pieces here, but it more follows just them creating the show and all the weird, wacky things that happen between them creating it and putting it out. And it's really good, honestly. Like I said, I didn't give it much of a chance at the beginning because I'm probably not that big, like sort of sitcom-y guy. But this, very good. I think we finished it in about 2 weeks, Alyssa and I.
You watched the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say the whole thing. I probably total missed a season's worth.
I was gonna say I got burnt out on it after a while, just because like there's only so much of a show I could take, and so I've never finished things like The Office or How I Met Your Mother or It's Always Sunny. Like no matter how good the comedy is, too much of the same comedy over and over and over again just wears on me. But
You just got to get in those grooves.
no, there's no fucking getting into a groove. Y'all are crazy out here being like, oh, I've seen How I Met Your Mother 40 times. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I got burnt out recently on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm on season 6, and I just had to stop watching it because it's just like that burnout fact. It's like you can't really appreciate it when you binge the whole thing.
I think that's one of the
I guess
biggest.
that's good for at least this show for me, the difference, because a lot like, I shouldn't say the ones that Isaiah said, but like with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there's not an end. With at least 30 Rock, you can be like, okay, this is the end. I just have to make it there.
That's true.
But I think that also the benefit is if you're watching it as it comes out, there is no burnout factor for me because I'm not watching 7 episodes of fucking night or some dumb shit.
No, that's definitely a plus that you can
Right.
space it out.
I'm watching 1 episode a week, and it's not,
Yeah,
So-
I get your point there. Yeah, but 30 Rock, I did get burned out on as well. I think I stopped before, like right before the last season. But no, it definitely I like the dry humor in it. You know, it's not like a laugh tracky type sitcom. You know, it's not Friends or something. Like it's a pretty smart comedy. So yeah, I might go back and watch it one day.
Yeah, worth a watch if you haven't already seen it. It's on Hulu.
And then I just wanted to give one quick shout out. I binged Russian Doll over the weekend, the Netflix show. I think, Zach, you talked about that. I really enjoyed it. I really don't have much to say about it, but I really liked it, and I don't want to spoil anything, which is hard to do with this show.
And I'm pretty sure I came across this issue when I first talked about it, but honestly, it's a show that's pretty hard to explain.
Yeah.
You have to go really see it for yourself to understand what we're talking about with it. But
yeah, and I really liked it, and I don't know how they would do a second season, but we'll see if it happens. But yeah, it's 8 episodes, 25-minute episodes. Like, it's a breeze. So if you got a free couple of days, I would recommend that one also.
Yeah, the thing that I've heard or read about is that they might do it in the sense of, and I could be totally wrong. I don't know if they've actually already confirmed the cast or not, but they essentially follow different individuals in the season with it happening. So it won't follow the same 2 people as it did before.
That could be interesting, but I honestly think the main actress of the show is what sold it for me.
She is so good.
Yeah, there were a lot of characters I did not like the guy they introduce in the middle of the show. I did not like him at all. I found him very annoying, but the main character is what got me through it, so it would be tough to watch it without her, but I don't know, that could get another good actor, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually find that actress's name, because she does deserve a shout out. She was extremely good in it. Natasha Lonnie.
There you go. But okay, so it looks like it's time for our main topic. So today we are going to be in honor of Avengers Endgame coming out on digital this week and Blu-ray next week. We're going to be fantasy drafting our new Avengers lineup. Now we're going to be doing 6 rounds, so our teams will have 6 people, similar to the original main Avengers team from the first Avengers movie. And we have 30 characters all listed here. Basically any character that's still alive in the MCU in Phase 4. And that have already been cast and announced. So characters that we've seen in the past or future characters that we know we're getting that already have casting announcements. So we're not including X-Men or Fantastic Four or anything like that is going to be out eventually, but we don't know anything about. It has to be something that is at least cast. So like Blade, for example, with Mahershala Ali or Shang-Chi. They have movies coming in the future. We don't really know much about them, but we at least know they exist and we know what actor they are. So that's really going to be the main rules. We were talking before this podcast about what kind of to build your team on as far as how to quote unquote win this debate. Really all I'm going to say is, do whatever kind of team you want. For me, it's going to be basically focused on what do I want to see in the next Avengers movie? What kind of team do I want to see? That's kind of what I'm basing mine on, but you can really go whatever way you want with it. We randomly generated the order. So we're going to start with Zach in round 1, and then Isaiah, and then myself, and then we're going to snake it back. So I'll start off round 2. So Zach, whenever you're ready with the first pick, you can go.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, me and Isaiah also took control, and we introduced trades into this. How the trades are going to work, we're not too sure.
All I'm saying,
that happens, it's going to happen.
Even more important than that is you can't draft your Avengers team without naming it. You can't say, Spider-Man is coming to the Zach Avengers. So, Zach, you're going to need to come up with a team name, too. On the spot. I'm putting you on blast right now.
No, I thought we would do it at the end.
Nope. We cannot go forward. Okay, we'll do it at the end.
It's hard to name it when you don't know who's on your team.
You have to know who's on your team before you can just name it.
No.
Going to give it away.
What? That's some bullshit. I already got my name.
Well, we'll see. I'm going first then. First overall pick, Captain Marvel. The badass bitch herself. Probably the most... I don't know. No, she probably is the strongest Avenger right now. She took down an entire ship by herself and thought Thanos herself as well. Easily worth the number one overall pick.
Yeah, but she's easily the reason why Tony Stark died, so she's the worst. Doesn't
Debatable.
matter.
Oof.
You can't blame Carol for that.
Yeah, you can. She had the gauntlet and didn't snap, even though she's obviously the most powerful person in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So,
We'll see.
that leads to my pick, and we already brought him up. So I'm going to go with Rescue, or as I would know her, Pepper Potts, coming to the team. That's my girl. A lot of people don't like her, thought she was too much of a mom to Tony, but you got to have that mom figure on the team. So Rescue coming to my team.
All right, so I'll go third. I have 2 picks in a row here, so I got to think about how to strategize on this. But I do like your guys' picks. I can't say that I didn't have some of those on my draft board, because I did. But let's see here. I'm looking for a leader on my team. Captain America's no longer around, but we do have a new Captain America eventually. Right now, Falcon is still Falcon with the Winter Soldier in their Disney Plus series, but I think through that series, I think he's going to evolve into becoming the new Captain America, and I think by the time we have a new Avengers movie, he'll be fully in that role. So my first draft pick is going to be Sam Wilson, also known as the Falcon, and to be known as in the future, the new Captain America. So that's going to be my first pick to end the first round.
I heard rumors that his that TV show is going to be about how the U.S. government does not want him to be the new Captain America.
Huh.
That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah. It's just rumors and speculation, obviously. But
Winter Soldier, if I'm not mistaken.
what?
Isn't he sharing that TV show with Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be interesting how they figure that out. You get your second pick, Josh.
So to start off the second round, this one, I'm trying to think about how to build my team. So I have my captain of the team per se when it comes to the leader when they're out in battle. So now I'm going to need someone who's more of a spiritual captain, someone who's more of a experienced veteran member of the Avengers. And I was thinking about going with Thor, but I feel like with his personality and with Iron Man and Captain America out of the picture, he would have to be the leader if I drafted him on my team. So I'm actually going to go with Professor Hulk. I think that Professor Hulk can stay in the background. He's been through it all in the MCU, but he doesn't always have to be involved in the fight. He's still Bruce Banner on the inside of Professor Hulk. But if they do need him to come out and fight, he can do that as well. So my first pick to start off the second round is going to be Professor Hulk.
So you're telling me I can choose versions of these characters as well?
Well, I mean, that's his current version.
That's his current version.
I guess.
No, you can't. So you technically don't even have Captain Marvel. You just have Carol.
So that's fine. I'll take Carol. Carol's a badass. But
they called her Captain Marvel in Spider-Man: Far From Home. So
they did. Well, they should have called her Captain Marvel. So guess that movie sucks.
Damn it, Sony!
You ruined everything.
All right, Isaiah, you're up next.
I don't know, dude. Do you think? I don't know. I might be able to let my pick fall to the next round, right? My thing is,
that's the tough part.
I'm in the shittiest place because I don't get to pick 2 in a row ever. I'm always going to be just here jerking off.
But you pick the most often.
Yeah, but I don't get to pick 2 in a row, so I can't really put 2 together and make a fucking team.
Yeah, you probably have the worst spot.
So I'm gonna go.
Could trade. You gonna trade a spot?
Would you like to trade this spot for a later spot in the draft?
Yeah. No, fuck you. I'm gonna go with Shuri. Shuri's going on to my team. She is. We need that super intellectual team going on here. Pepper Potts is a logistics master. She ran Stark Industries whenever Tony was a fuck, and Shuri will be as smart as Tony, more than likely smarter. So basically, I'm just rebuilding Stark Industries from the bottom, with Shuri as the main tech lead and Pepper doing what she did before.
All right. Well, I'm going to follow Josh's lead in the sense of try to get someone who is experienced leader, who knows what they're doing, who can pretty much lead everyone in battle. And I think this one might be a little bit of a surprise, but I'm gonna choose Valkyrie for the second.
Oh,
Valkyrie the queen, bro.
She is
y'all
the
really
queen.
making me look like a chauvinist pig right now.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe you picked 2 dudes in the first round,
What are
bro.
you doing?
It's all about the females, bro.
They're just so strong. I
God
mean, how
damn
can you
it!
not
Now
choose
Zach
Valkyrie?
gets to pick twice. Fucking bullshit.
I know, right? This is great. But she has all the experience she needs from being in the Valkyrie. She has now taken control. I shouldn't say taken control, but she has been given pretty much the reins of the kingdom and is now the queen there. So she's going to get all this experience and pretty much just keep building and building it up and turn to the better. She essentially already took it over during that time when Thor became fat and Asgard was on Earth. So it's only going up from there.
Yeah, I don't know who
Alright,
I'm going to
there
end
you
up liking more. Valkyrie and whenever Valkyrie has to do, or female Thor. whenever
That's what,
female Thor
honestly,
happens.
that was what this pick was going to be, either female Thor or Valkyrie for me. But Valkyrie just has that experience over female Thor at this moment.
That's
Who
true.
should we just call female Thor? Natalie Portman.
I mean, that is who it is. Her character's name is Jane Foster, but yeah, let's just call her Natalie Portman. That's fine.
All right, we'll do that.
So, what
And
is your next pick, Zach?
I don't know. This is where it's going to get a little tough for me. I have like a couple different people I want to take. I should also ask this before I continue to pick. How many people total do you say we're doing? 6?
We're doing 6 rounds.
So we're in the third round now.
So this
All
third
right.
round.
So who? The real question is a couple of these people going to be here come my 4th pick?
My thing is, I'm going to make some of the people I want on my team, I'm going to pick up in free agency to put on the bench just in case. So
Bold move.
I know that these people won't get picked. Like, who's going to pick Star-Lord after the last 2 movies? Jesus.
You're not wrong. I mean, pretty much near the bottom. All right. I guess my 3rd pick is going to be Scarlet Witch.
Nice.
Good call.
Another super strong Avenger who only showed her strength even more in Endgame, taking Thanos on essentially by herself for a while. And she has that vengeance for not only her brother dying, but also her love and Vision dying. So she has a lot of anger built up that she wants to get out soon. A lot of firepower.
It's a great pick, honestly.
Dude, that means it's my turn again. Hell yeah. I don't know who to pick. I feel like my team is lacking like that fucking super powerful person. Like Zach's got Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch, and you got Professor Hulk. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Doctor Strange on my team.
This is another solid pick.
It's probably a little early for Doctor Strange. I didn't even think you guys were going to pick Doctor Strange, but I also don't want my team to be too weak. I mean, I have to have my mans with the time stone and the little circle teleports and the water thing. Yeah, that guy, he's on the team. He made it. Wait,
So-
can I put Zendaya on the list of characters I can draft? Because she's easily on my team, bro.
So, I
Can we
won't
add a
lie.
civilian round?
I won't lie. Both of your picks were 2 that were pretty high up on my board, so I got to kind of re-strategize here for a second.
Hell yeah, we're
but-
ruining this chance, Isaiah. Let's take him down.
I think the one main benefit of this draft being so deep is that there's a lot of big names still on the board here. So I'm gonna go with Spider-Man, someone that I think could have been picked a lot earlier, but it's still on the board here in round 3. So I'm going to pick Spider-Man for my team. I think he's really coming to his own. I think Tom Holland has become one of the most beloved in the MCU. And with Professor Hulk being a little bit more serious now, Falcon's, he's mostly serious. He's from, a service background. Spider-Man's the new Quip guy. Am I right? We don't have a Quip guy on the team. So now it's Spider-Man. So that's going to be my pick for round 3.
Nice.
Damn, and then your pick for round 4. Let me make a prediction. It's going to be the Winter Soldier because you love that movie so much.
I do love the movie. It's my favorite in the MCU, but I'm not going to pick Winter Soldier. I'm going to pick someone who, again, is shockingly still on the list, and that's Black Panther.
Damn,
that
Josh
was gonna
really
be
going
mine.
deep into the 4th round with no women on his team. Oof.
That's all you have on me. I'll take it. And that's your biggest criticism. It's a fair one, but if that's the biggest one,
All
that's
I'm
fine.
saying is
You
Zach's
picked
team,
all the really good ones.
Zach's team, all women. My team, mostly women. Josh out here like, nah, dude, this is still a boys team, bro. This is me.
Jesus.
This is me making up the votes because I had no strategy going into this. And the last pick I made actually doesn't fit
Isaiah's like,
the
how
theme
can I-
that
how
I
can I-
chose.
Yeah.
You're like, how can I cancel the other teams? That's what you're worried about.
Okay, wait. Can I return one of my players and get 2 players this round?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you no, I guess. If you
Okay.
you're saying you want to exchange Doctor Strange for someone else?
Yeah.
That's still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to drop Doctor Strange from my team. While he might be powerful, he doesn't fit the theme that I was going for, and I had a lapse of judgment last round, and it's fine. He can trap me into Time Stone if he needs to.
The time stone is
essentially
gone. All the
return your thirst
stones
round
were
pick.
destroyed.
But instead, I'm going to pick up the Winter Soldier.
You mother.
His explanation will come later whenever I defend my team in the end. And I'm also going to pick up the War Machine with my actual pick this round.
So my question is,
okay.
would Winter Soldier have been your 4th pick if we didn't let you return Doctor Strange?
Yes.
Damn. All right.
War Machine was going to be the War Machine was the one that I wasn't really going to pick, but now that I could turn that guy back in, I got this one.
Well, just like how Doctor Strange can turn back time, so did you.
Yeah, dude, I used him. I used his time powers, but he doesn't have those anymore because the stones is gone. So who knows?
I mean, you can still morph reality.
All right, your 4th round pick, Zach, is
Oh God, this is only getting harder and harder. You honestly, both of you took my 4th round pick in Winter Soldier and Black Panther. Both were very high up there, and those were the ones I was scared that weren't going to be here, and sadly, right. Here's a question: do I get You said that this is after Endgame, so all the characters in this are post Endgame.
Correct. This would be a Phase 4 Avengers movie.
Okay. All right.
so you're gonna pick Fat Thor, dude?
No, and I get 2.
I'm sure he can work out a bit.
All right, I'm gonna go, and this one will be a shock. I shouldn't say a shock, but out of nowhere, I'm gonna go with Blade.
Nice. Don't know a lot about him, but he's definitely one of the cooler Marvel characters, I think.
Blade, he's gonna be a wild card. There's a lot that can go good with him, but there's also a lot that can go wrong. If I'm pretty sure, with the exception of Deadpool, because I don't know if he's technically considered the MCU yet, that Blade will be the first R-rated movie in the MCU officially. Correct?
I don't know if that's official, but I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just haven't heard it.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I heard right. But Blade, if he's bringing in that power, he's bringing in that dark side to my team, making it a little bit edgy for everybody. And my 5th pick, and I have to take her now because I'm afraid she's not going to be here at the end. I'm going to go with Sharon Carter. Josh,
Wow.
who is she again? Captain America's orphan?
I just want to point out
In our
we
document,
have over 20 characters left on the board, including Thor, Doctor Strange, and all of Guardians of the Galaxy. And with Zach's 5th pick, he picks someone who he has to ask who it is.
Well, so fair. But here's my no. I'm just gonna explain it at the end.
Okay.
that's amazing.
And to answer your question, she's from Captain America 2 and 3. She's Peggy Carter's niece, I believe, and she basically works for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Or actually, I don't know if she works for Shield in the movies though. I know she does in the comic. I
She
can't
hails
figure that
Hydra.
shit out.
All right.
Hydra. Okay, so Isaiah, your 5th pick. Who you going with?
All right, my 5th pick, and I know that you guys aren't going to pick him, but I got to get him on the team. I'm putting in Hawkeye / Ronin on the team. Josh brought up that he's retired or whatever, but I need that edgelord, bro, on my team. I need
But he's
Ronin.
not Ronin.
Bring it. What do
But
you
he's
mean?
not Ronin anymore.
He's retired like twice already in the MCU.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So he's coming back, and you'll find out why in my end explanation. Dog.
Okay, are you gonna kill his family again?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it hardcore too.
All right, so these are my last 2 picks here. So let me. All right, it's gonna be an interesting one. I did not expect Zach to go with the Sharon Carter, so that really threw me off there for a sec. So I think that when you look at my team overall thus far, it's mostly street level. I mean, you do have Black Panther in there, who is a king. But for the most part, Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Falcon, he's kind of coming into his own, and Professor Hulk's mostly in my version of this going to remain in the background as kind of like a spiritual leader, only fighting when he has to. So I do need somebody that's gonna kind of have to step up, and really be big and powerful on my team. So I'm gonna go with the man that was released from Isaiah's team, Doctor Strange.
Oof. Probably shouldn't have dropped
He
that
dropped
guy.
down all that high.
Yeah, he dropped fucking all the way to the 6th round, bro. No, 5th round. That was the end of the 5th round.
Yeah. So with my last pick, again, I did describe my team as street level, and I do think for the most part they are going to kind of be like a street level type Avengers with Falcon, Spider-Man, Black Panther in there when needed. A lot of my characters like Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Professor Hulk, aren't always going to be around unless it's a really big battle that's needed. So I'm kind of trying to stay on the street level because I feel like the MCU has gotten so big, right, and cosmic and huge with Avengers Endgame. Let's bring it down a little bit. And I think one piece of the original Avengers that we can't forget about is, the Hawkeyes and the Black Widows, that are just those shield assassins. So I'm going to go with a sleeper pick. I'm going to go with Maria Hill. She's been in the MCU since the first Avengers. She knows the ropes. Nick Fury's right hand woman, and she's now officially going to be a member of this version of the Avengers. So my last pick is going to be Maria Hill.
Okay.
Interesting. I'm a big fan of that pick. I love me a little bit of Let's Go to the Mall by Robin.
Also, I needed a woman so I wouldn't get canceled.
Oh yeah,
that's
bro.
the real reason why you did it.
I feel that.
No, but I was totally gonna have my last 2 picks this whole draft be Sharon Carter and Maria Hill because I didn't think anyone was going to pick them. So Zach kind of threw me off there, but
Haha.
All right, that means I'm on my last pick, and I gotta put my boy, dude. I'm putting in Thor. I'm taking he made it this far down, dude. This is my Antonio Brown drop it all the way to the fucking part of the draft where nobody's even watching pickup here, dog. Thor. My man Thor. And soon enough, the picture will be clear, bro. If you can't see it right now, looking at my team, you're going to be ready to get your mind blown. I'm about to win another one of these challenges, dog.
I think the reason Thor fell so far and why I didn't pick him at least is like Thor's only good movie was Thor Ragnarok, his solo film. He's never been much of a team player. I feel like putting him on your team throws everything out of whack. And, he had to have Iron Man and Captain America there to kind of hold him down. I don't know if you have anybody on your team that can really hold Thor down from being outrageous.
You got to be exactly. That's the point. His outrageousness is the best part of the movie. But I'll get to explain it to you here after Zach gets his pick.
All right, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Star-Lord.
Or Mrs.
Star-Lord.
Irrelevant.
Star-Lord.
Can I just say that I'm super happy none of us have chose Ant-Man.
And I'm taking Ant-Man with my last pick.
He had his time.
No, he didn't. He never did. So this is coming down to about 2 or 3 different people for me. And I think it is going to have to it's going to be someone from Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's going to be coming down to either Rocket or Groot at the end of the day. do I want the intellectual rocket who will pretty much take on my team that intellectual part, creative part, creating anything he needs, or do I want Groot, which is a fan favorite and everyone's gonna love?
I just feel like the plot points for Groot, they're already over, man. He went through his teenage angst phase.
Isaiah, stop helping him out. He hasn't picked yet.
I don't want him to win. Groot's a good ass fucking pick.
If I had to choose out of all these people left,
You do.
I know I do, don't I?
All right, in free agency, I'm picking up Zendaya, so you gotta leave her. You gotta leave her on the board, my guy.
You're gonna have her. I'm going to take Rocket with my last pick.
Yeah, dude, big Rocket fan.
It's a good pick.
All right,
Can't really say no to Rocket.
I like the teams.
Yeah, so let's go. I guess I'll go first. We can go one by one and name our teams and kind of explain anything we want to. So, just to run down my team, I got Falcon as the new Captain America, Sam Wilson as the captain of my team out on the field. Got Professor Hulk being, as he is called, the professor, kind of hanging back most of the time, but it's always good to have that muscle if needed. Spider-Man, who's really become, his movie just made $1 billion, so he's really become one of the most popular characters in the MCU. Black Panther, what was it, the third highest grossing movie of all time, made more money than Avengers Infinity War? I mean, come on. And then you got Doctor Strange, because you just need that OP character every once in a while. And then Maria Hill, that sneaky, really good character that can kind of keep everything connected, keep the team from, falling out or anything like that. So I think because this is kind of more of a street level team here, with the exception of Doctor Strange and maybe Black Panther, but for the most part, it's going to be more of a street level team. I'm actually going to call my team the Defenders. Now, the Defenders was actually used for the Netflix show with like Daredevil and Luke Cage and all that. But in the comics, it has a very rich history with many different characters in there. So I'm going to go ahead and name my team the Defenders, because we had the Avengers to avenge what Thanos did, but now we had the Defenders who are here to defend Earth moving into the future.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. The Defenders.
I also like that.
I'm going to go next. I'm going to let Zach close it up, because it sounds like he's got some good things going on in there. So just a reminder of who my team is. We got Pepper Potts as Rescue. She is my logistics. I would say she's kind of my Captain America-esque keep people in line character, because she has such a great loss with Tony. She doesn't want to see these other people lose. Shuri is going to be my super intelligent, kind of like a Lucius Fox kind of ordeal, like outfitting these people. We got Winter Soldier, who is my most experienced, I would say. War Machine, basically I have Iron Man on my team, but not really. Hawkeye, and his very crucial point is, and if you look at my team and rounding out with Thor, these are all of the characters who had probably the most face time with Black Widow, minus Shuri. I think that they only interacted in Infinity War. So my team name will be the Avengers. So they will be, I would assume something happens in Black Widow, and they have to do something to avenge Black Widow and whatever happens in the Black Widow movie. So the Avengers. So that's why Hawkeye is back. He is doing something in the image of our beloved Scarlett Johansson character, Black Widow. And I would say that the movie is more like a spy thriller, like people love so much whenever the Marvel movies do. And the reason why Thor is on the team is because that is not him at all. So he will be the comedic element on my team, where they're trying to make him be sneaky, but he is also the most loud and obnoxious on the team. And they're like, Thor, come on, get it together. But eventually he is the GOAT on the team, and he does big things, or he is needed crucially, or the team wouldn't have survived without him. Okay. So the Avengers is my team.
All right. Very creative. I like it. All right. So my team, quick little recap here. We're going to start with Captain Marvel, who probably is, out of everyone on our team, probably the strongest one, the most well-diverse person on our team. Not only is she physically strong, can fly around, shoot lasers out of her hand, but she's also smart and come up with plans pretty much on whenever she needs to, right off the top of her head. We go into Scarlet Witch, who doesn't have that sort of pure physical brutality, but can use her powers in any way and get creative with it to pretty much do anything for the team that our leader will tell her that she needs to do for us to win it all at the end. We have Blade, who is going to pretty much do the dirty work for us. So he'll be the one who's going out there and doing what needs to be done for us to win, going out there, getting the intel that they need, essentially just doing everything that others might not seem fit, or just doing the darker side of the day-to-day activities. We have Rocket, who I talked about at the very end, who is essentially going to be our brains behind the operation, coming up with plans, coming up with any gadgets that we need, and just being a scavenger with any sort of, pretty much like how Isaiah described Shuri with him. Rocket's going to try to fulfill that role for us. Then we have Valkyrie, who I talked about has that experience in warfare that we need to come up with strategies on the fly. Essentially be our team leader's second-hand woman who needs us. Who comes to my final person, Sharon Carter, who will be the leader of my team, who will follow in and get me here. So my theory is that how Captain America and Endgame went back and essentially lived his life with Peggy Carter, Sharon Carter is going to fill that role later on as becoming the new Captain America leadership role for the Avengers. And she's going to just start by doing that with my team right here.
And I'm sorry, and did you name the team?
I did not yet. We'll call them Delta Force.
All right, fuck it.
Hell
I'm not gonna lie. If I thought this,
we're gonna call them the A-Team.
All the Avengers, and I was definitely gonna pick Captain America first because I mean it's Captain America, and name our team the Ass Avengers. But I can't do that now.
Damn, dog! You just picked the best butts in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, bro. That'd have been a lit team. I'd have been into that.
I'm doing it.
All right, so we got the Defenders, the Avengers, and Delta Force. I think I have my first trade offer.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be to you, Isaiah.
Okay.
So I think we could have a trade that could work out for both parties. So you have Shuri on your team, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to get her from you. I know it's a high pick. That's a great pick. But I think it would help out your team if you had her brother, Black Panther, along there with you. So would you give up the Winter Soldier for Black Panther?
I don't know, man. See, the only person I would have traded Shuri on my team for Professor Hulk, because I feel like the only other person who has the most face time with Black Widow would have been Hulk, and when you snagged him from me, I was upset. But I had to pick Pepper Potts with my first pick because that's my girl, dog. But Black Panther for Winter Soldier, yeah, I think I would do that. I think that I don't think that the Winter Soldier and Black Widow had as much interaction as probably the chemistry between brother and sister would bring to the team. So yeah, I would definitely pull that trade.
All right, so we got our first trade. So we got Black Panther going to the Avengers and Winter Soldier coming over to the Defenders.
Are there any other trade deals?
No, I love my Ass Ventures.
So we're changing their name. They're now the Ass
I thought I said that at the end.
I thought you were still going with Delta Force. I thought you did.
No, I said screw it, I'm going with it.
Okay.
In honor of Captain America.
Avengers.
Nice. So now I got that brother-sister pair, dog.
All right. So, any other trade offers from you, Isaiah? Anything?
I don't know, man. No, I'm good. I think my team is pretty solid where it's at.
All right, so quick update after that one trade, just to recap everything. We got the Defenders my team with Falcon, Professor Hulk, Spider-Man, the Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and Maria Hill. The Avengers with Rescue, Pepper Potts, Shuri, Black Panther, War Machine, Hawkeye, and Thor. And then the Ass Avengers, Zach's team, with Captain Marvel, Valkyrie, Scarlet Witch, Blade, Sharon Carter, and Rocket. What few teams
Can I
there.
make one change? And it's not a trade as much as it is subbing someone out for someone who was not drafted.
Whoa. You're pulling a free agent, bro?
We're pulling a free agent right here to end it.
Okay.
I'm going to remove Blade and switch it with Natalie Portman.
Ooh,
I would like the dynamic between female Thor and Valkyrie.
I think that is a smart move for my team. Nothing bad against Blade, but I just think the overall Blade's probably a little bit too dark for my team, to be honest.
and we don't know anything yet, really.
Yeah.
We know he's Mahershala Ali, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the selling point right there to be on the team. But I just think the overall cohesion with my team would be better with Natalie Portman.
Wow, okay. So we got Captain Marvel, Valkyrie, Scarlet Witch, female Thor, Natalie Portman, Jane Foster, Sharon Carter, and then Rocket. The Ass Avengers. What a team.
Nice, dude. I didn't know you were a furry, Zach.
Hey, man. What comes out during the podcast?
All right.
This is what we've learned over the year.
So you'll be able to vote for who you think has the best Avengers on our Twitter that I do not man. So do not ask me any questions on when that shit's coming out or any of that kind of shit. Just tweet at us and somebody will get to you as soon as possible. Our social media managers work around the clock just to adhere to our beloved fans, and they will be able to answer any questions that you might have. Speaking about questions, speaking about questions, we had a fan question last week. Did we get any responses on do you still play Battle Royales?
Yeah, so we posted on the Twitter. We did a poll. We said, do you still play Fortnite or any other Battle Royale games? The final results are in. 75% of people said no. They no longer play Battle Royale games. 25% saying they still do. Interesting.
Wow. I'm in that 25%. I still do play some Battle Royale games, but as I said last week, they are not doing so hot.
They're not.
Yeah.
Except unless you play Fortnite. Then you're doing pretty okay.
And then for this week, going into next week, if you think our three teams are trash and you could draft a better team, I mean, it's going to be easier for you because you're not going up against two other people. But go ahead and send us your new Avengers lineup, preferably 6 characters who are still alive and well in the MCU. Give us a name. Don't think you're going to top Ass Avengers, but you can try, and we'll say our favorite ones next week.
Yeah, dude. I don't know about the Ass Avengers, but the Avengers, bro.
If Captain America was still in here, you can't tell that team wouldn't be the best.
You just out here checking out Rocket's ass, bro. I don't know, man.
Rocket would be the one that gets replaced.
Damn, dog. You really out here sexualizing our women, my guy?
There's no winning this conversation.
Objectification?
Wow. I'm trashing your team before people even get a chance to vote.
Oh, the Avengers with 2 women?
I just want to say real quick, if you only had the titles, you just had the title on a poster, which team is selling the least amount of tickets?
Avengers.
Title.
That's just a porno. I could easily type that into Pornhub and get 30,000 results. All right. We'd like to thank you for listening. We'd like to thank American Spirits for our use of their song ADHD at the beginning and end of this podcast. We'd like to thank Surgerberger for all of the sound bits and bites you get to hear in here. I think the only one we have this week is See It, Rent It, Stream It. But he also does our Trying Random Shit one, which we haven't tried random shit in a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe next week.
Where else can we find you guys on the interwebs, starting with Zach?
Find me at Zach the Pigeon on Twitter.
Nice. What about you, Josh? Where can we find you on the internet?
Josh Hooligan R on all social media and Joshua Hooligan on YouTube, where I will be posting my Mark Hamill Joker video pretty soon.
Ooh. Nice. You can find me at php_islaya. I found out my Twitter handle recently. I don't know if that is also my Instagram handle, but it doesn't really matter because I'm not posting pictures of Nova, so why follow me right now? Other than that, tweet at us, share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, do all that kind of stuff that helps us spread across the world. And if you want to be a guest, I think our email is somewhere on our internet presence.
Yeah, it's hooliganradio23@gmail.com.
Or you can message any of the guys if you know us personally, and we'll get you on. Next week's guest is going to be a hoot, and I am very excited to have him on, and very excited for you guys to hear about his topic that he's bringing.
I'm super excited.
Anything else, gents?
That's all.
Alrighty. You have a good week, and we will catch you next time.
ADHD sounds driving me crazy. I don't wanna take it. You're gonna have to make